Back to my video tutorial. Today I'm on the Mac and I'm looking at ClaroRead new version. I want to see how well it works. So I want to start from left to right. So I want to start from the scanning option. When you click the scan button here, it opens up an external program, for example, Read Iris. Depending on what version you've got, I've currently got an older version, I've got version 12, but you'll probably have version 14 or 15. Now on my version it hasn't got a driver that's compatible with Read Iris on my Mac. So I can't use Read Iris to directly scan from the scanner. I have to first scan it using the software that comes with the OptiBook Scanner 3600 into a PDF format, then take that PDF format and convert it. But either way, if you've got the new version of Read Iris, it can work much quicker directly doing it from Read Iris, but you can use this option as well. So first I'm going to click the scan button to bring up Read Iris. Once open, I'm good to go. Now if I go up to the top here, it says Read Iris there. If I go to Preferences, this will show you any scanners you've got installed, and you can see here I've got none compatible there, and it's not showing up. If yours was showing up there, you can just select it, or if it's not showing, always go to the website and see if there's a new driver or twine to download, so it will work with your software. But I'm pretty sure now with updates it will work. So, as I can't press the scan button and scan directly from my OptiBook 3600, I'm going to use the built-in software I've got. So if I click on the Plus Tech OptiBook 3600, this window will pop open. Now I'm going to scan this page again. So at the top here I've got PDF, portable document format I want to scan it to. If I had a book with one page at a time, I could select this option here. So if I said rotate on even scans, every time you turn it over on an even scan, it will then rotate 180. That way it keeps the text up rotated in the correct direction. As I'm doing 2 pages at once, I'm just going to leave that so I don't have to rotate the book. And give that a name, so here I'm just going to call it Tester. Software will vary depending on what scanner you're using, but if you're scanning straight from Read Iris, it's a lot simpler. And then I'm going to click Colour Scan. Let it do its scan. And there's my scan, and it's showing you where I've scanned it to as well. So if I'm happy with that, I'm going to close that window. But I'm going to leave Read Iris open because that's what's going to convert that image into a text format for me. So if I click open, I need to find that file, and there we are. I just minimise Claro so you can see I'm in the correct folder here, Documents and OptiBook 3600. I'm going to open that portable document format. It's going to open up and it's going to convert it for me, as you can see, in text. Depending on what version you got or what software, this will vary. I have done previous videos on optical character recognition software. So at the moment I'm quite happy. I'm just going to recognise and save that as a Word document by clicking that button there. And there we go, it opens up. So now I can open up Claro because I've got standard text and fonts, which means I can have that read back. So click the cursor at the beginning of what I want read back. Come up to the playback button and press play.
Do you want to improve your health? Set an example to children.
And click stop.
More money to spend.
Now if you're not happy with the speed or voice or highlighting, no problem. Right hand corner you've got the settings button. Tap that. You have speech at the top first, so we need to choose a good voice that you're comfortable with. I'm currently using Serena, but you can change that. For example, we have Kate there. Click play to the right to have a little listen.
This is a test of the currently selected voice.
You can choose the speed, and as you drag it, it will give you words per minute, and click play.
This is a test of the...
So that's the first option, voice and speed. The next will be the highlighting. If you're not happy with that highlighting option, no problem. Change text colour. You might decide you prefer red. And background colour. Or maybe you don't want a background colour, you can untick it there and that will get rid of it. But if you want a background colour, just select it there, change background colour here on the right, and you can change it. But I'm not going to have a background colour this time. And click close. So now it should just read back for me in red. So click to begin with what you want read back and click play.
Do you want to improve your health? Set an example.
And click stop. So you can see how easy that is to use so far. Also have the playback option. Open up Safari. Also we can read off Safari, great for doing research. So I'm going to go to any website, and I always use Wiki as an example. Highlight what you want read back.
This article is about the type of website for the article.
And then it will read back for you. Another great option. But I'm going to close that, go back to original document. So we can proofread back your own work if you want, or proofread stuff that you've used OCR to convert into a Word document. Also, if we hit the font option here, we can increase and decrease fonts. When I change this, it just changes the options in your ribbon. Watch. Increase, it's gone up to 14. Increase again, it's gone up to 16. And again, you can decrease. Makes life a lot easier to have it all in one option. Also fonts, you've got 3 different fonts. These are fonts that some people find useful reading, much easier to read than using a default one. For example, I've got Times on the ribbon, so if I change to Arial, you can see it's all changed to that font. Again, you could choose Comic Sans. And again, I'm going to put it back to Arial. That's a handy option where to change the fonts quickly. Also, we have font colour. You can change the font colour, maybe a blue, and if you prefer as well, highlight colour, background colour. So we could have a yellow. And you choose what you find easier to read the text with, or doesn't hurt your eyes as well. Let's go back to fonts. I'm going to put that back to default. So click on highlight. I'm going to put none, and the same goes again for my font colour. I'm just going to leave it as licorice will do. So there's your font options, and there's shortcuts to your ribbon on your Word. Also we have spacing, so I can change the characters within a word and separate each character in a word so you can read it clearly. Let me show you. Click it once, you can see how the letters are spread in each word, and again, and you can see how it spreads. Now some people find that really helpful, some people don't. Again, it's personal preference. I do find with spacing, change line spacing works really well. But bear in mind, if you just converted text using OCR, it might not always perform as you want when spreading out the text. And there we go. Also paragraph spacing works well as well, just to spread everything out so you can read it clearly. Now that takes us to Homophones. So what I'm going to do is click Control N for new. There was a maid in the courtroom smoking, singing. So I need to check if there's any homophones in that word. Now homophones are words that sound the same phonetically but have different meanings. There's quite a few of them, from to up to where. So what I'm going to do is click on the beginning, and I'm going to click the homophone button and select show homophones. Now that will turn every word blue that has another one that phonetically sounds the same. Now if you have trouble with these words phonetically, this is a great way to check your work. Now click on the beginning and it will then go through and check them all. So now I'm going to select the check button. First one is there. So now I can choose the correct there I want if I just drag this down. So at the bottom here it's got in or at the place. So if I tap into there, it will read back the description.
In or at that place.
On the right I have a definition of that word, so if I click into there it will then read back the adverb.
The letter F, right pointing triangle, adverb 1 in, at, or to that place or
and again the context I've been using that word in, and you see the context there. There was a maid in the courtroom singing. If I click into there, if I tap in there, it will read back.
There was a maid in the courtroom singing.
So there's my current word I'm using there. And if you click into there, it reads back for you, so you get the audio. Also, if available here in the middle, you get a visual, and also you get the description and definition of that word before you change it to make sure you're using the correct homophone. So if I click the alternative there, it tells me at the bottom to do with or belonging to them, and you can see it's got another visual picture to help me with that homophone word. Also at the bottom here, you can select the look up there. That will go online and it will give you a thesaurus, if any, dictionary, Wikipedia as well. So that's a handy little option to check the word. But I'm going to leave this as it is and click next. So make sure you click into there and click next. It will then go on to the next homophone. In this case, made and made sound identical. Some people will find that challenging because they phonetically sound the same. Other people find certain words are. So again, it's up to you how you want to work that. And we can actually remove homophones as well we don't want. So if you know one keeps popping up that you know you're fine with, we can get rid of that. I'll show you that in a minute. So I've got made, and if I look at the context of the sentence, I know that's correct, so I'm happy with that. Again, you've got your description here. If I click into made, the alternative, it will then give me a picture there if available. So a lovely little option just to check your phonetic words and homophones and that you're using the correct ones within your essays or sentences. I'm going to click close. Now to get rid of the blue, click on the beginning, go up to homophones and select clear, and they will clear. Before I carry on, let me go to settings, because I said to you you can change your homophones. Go to check, and here's all your homophones there. So if there's words that you know you're okay with, you can scroll through them, highlight the ones you want. You might say ants and aunts I'm okay with. Well, then you can highlight it and click delete. But it also works the other way around. You can even add your own ones there that you might have trouble with. For example, I'll just put one as an example. So I've got hello, and the alternative you might get confused with is mellow. Now as I've got hello, it's the first homophone, I can put the description of the word hello. So I'm just going to put 2 just to give you an idea of that, and then you've added that homophone. So every time hello comes up, you'll have the alternative. So you can add your homophones that way if required, or even more than one word, as you can see here. So if I tap into there, add a comma and a space, I can add more words. Hello, mellow, fellow, for example. Just got to make sure that you alternate them as well. So every time I type in hello, I'm going to get the alternative of mellow, fellow. But then again, if I type in mellow, it's not going to give me the alternative of hello and fellow. You have to put them in separate. So you'd have to click plus and add a word for mellow, then add fellow, hellos, alternatives, and then the meaning of the word mellow. Also, you can change the colours of your homophone. Blue, you can click homophone colour and change the colours of your homophones as well. And click close. So next I'm going to look at spelling. The D, and I'm also going to delete the no out of courtroom and click on the beginning. So I need to do a spell check. So go to the first spelling error and select check on ClaroRead. This window will pop up. It's going to try and suggest the word that I was trying to type in and spell, and it will also give me a picture of the first suggestion alternative that you can see in the middle here. If I click on the second suggestion, it will read back for me orderly, and it also give me a definition on the right. So if I click into there,
main 1 men, right pointing triangle, adjective,
and stop, and it will read back for me. This is the context I'm using it in, so I can click into here.
There was a main courtroom singing,
And it will read back for me. Made is the actual word I wanted, and you can see at the bottom there I've got no synonym. For example, with main it gave me various synonyms, so I could click on a synonym, a word that has similar meaning, by clicking on it,
chief,
and then it'll read back for me that word. I can go to the definition on the right,
chief,
tap in there, and it'll read back for me. So it gives you an audio, visual if available, picture, and the definition and meaning of the words as well. Really handy. So if I wanted made, I could click on made and then select change, and that will change in my document. And then you go through all your spellings. I'm going to just click next to go to the next one and just change your spellings as you're going along. So I've got courtroom there, and again there's only one suggestion for that that's close to courtroom. Definition here is on the right, and the context of the word I'm using it in as well. The context of the sentence I'm using it as well. So a really handy option to use. So I'm going to close that and don't save, and I'm also going to close the spelling option. There's your option so far. Play to proofread back on Word documents, internet, proofread back your own work, and we can stop the read back. Scanning from OCR using Read Iris, you can scan to OCR, which then converts it to a Word document, and then you've got full control over what you're reading. Fonts, you can change various fonts, highlighting, spacing to separate letters between a word or sentences or paragraphs. homophones, words that sound the same but have different meanings, and we have our spell button. Now this brings us to the predict. We'll click into our previous scan. I'm going to keep that there for now because we'll scan this off earlier. In fact, I'm going to go to spacing and get that back to default, because I'm going to show you in a minute how to save that as an audio file so you can listen to it on the move. But I'm going to do Control N, and I'm going to use the predict button. So I'm going to click that once, come to a document and start typing. Now what this would do, it try and predict the word you're going to type in. So I was actually going to type in help. So I could either click on it or use the keyboard shortcut to put that word in. Now how this works is, it will predict as you're typing, and again I also do going. So you could use it as a spell helper, and you can also use it to visualise your work. Now what we'll do is just turn off predict for a second, and we'll go to settings. And in settings you see we have a predict option there. Now we can actually change and improve your prediction. See, that was kind of random, but if you're doing a medical degree, law degree, sociology, doesn't matter. We could use this option to actually save whatever text you've got in your Word document and add it to your prediction dictionary. So when it predicts, it will start putting out the kind of words that you will be using in the topic of your essay or work. We've got built-in ones first, let me show you. So we've got prediction basic 5000 US UK. I'm going to put it on UK first. If I click the edit button, it then brings up all those words for the UK dictionary. But that's still kind of random. So let's create a new database or prediction. Let's create a new prediction dictionary. So I'm going to click plus, and we'll just call this nursing. So I might have an article or an essay you've done on nursing, and you want to save that in prediction dictionary. So as you type, it will bring up the kind of words you'll be using, or analogies, words you'll be using within your essay or your work. Help you with the spelling and help you to kind of visualise your work better. So I've got nursing, which is fine. If I click edit, of course there's nothing in there, I've not added anything yet. So click save and close. So when nursing's on, I can automatically add new words, spell check before adding words, learn word frequency, learn word orders, save dictionary and exit. So I'm going to leave prediction dictionary on, but I like to add some more words there. I've got nothing in there yet. So go to training. Now, go to Safari and then find a subject. So at the moment I've got one anyway. I've copied it into clipboard, and it's a nursing article. So I'm going to click Command V into Word, or if I click close a second, you can just use the option in prediction just to actually create your database from clipboard, but I want you visually to see it. So there's quite a lot there. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to highlight something and get rid of it. So I'm only going to do up to, then get rid of the table of contents as well.
Contents, hide. 1 history 1.1 traditional 1 dot.
So I'm just going to use that one page and add that to my prediction. Again, there's no limit, so go to settings. Make sure on predict and you're on training, which I am. Choose to learn new words, which I do want to learn new words. In fact, I've got nothing in my prediction dictionary yet anyway. Learn new word order. I like to know the way the words come out and how frequently the words come out, which is really important for when it comes to predict for you. So what I do is tap, click begin training. And you see at the bottom there, it's now analysing and looking for the words to add. So I'm creating a specific prediction dictionary for specific documents or essays that you might be doing. And that's almost done. And it's done, 100% complete. So if I go back to general, there's my nursing. If I click edit, I should have words in there now. And of course I have words like clinical, care, scroll down, patients, practice, practitioners. So words that are related to that topic. In fact, if I click the plus button, I can even add extra words. And again, that's not a word, that's a whole sentence, but hey, why not? Now, I'm going to click save and close. Now, you can see on prediction dictionary, I'm going to leave it on there because that's what I'm going to use. If you go to window, you can choose how it predicts. You can choose whether to list words alphabetically. I'll show you the prediction in a second. Or list by likelihood. I prefer list by likelihood rather than alphabetically, but then it will list what it thinks as you type you're most likely going to use. I could show ignore words if required and show the next word. Prediction colour. Select change colour if you want. I'm just going to leave that as a kind of a midnight blue actually. And you can even have, if you desire, change background colour. But I'm going to leave that off. Go back to general and we're ready to go. So let me click close. So I'm on nursing, prediction dictionary. Click Control N for a new document. Let's try it out. Turn predict on. So I'm going to type N. As I typed N, you can see straight away it's come up with nurses, nursing, anything to do with nursing with N, because that's more relevant it is to the topic. So you can see how powerful this can be, especially when you need to visualise your work more and that. And it's not in your way as well, and any words will add automatically as well. So I could press function F1 and it puts the word. So the shortcuts function Fn F1 and it'll put the word in there for you for the shortcut. Or if you prefer, tap on it. And you can see as I'm going along, nurses practice in each and so on. So it's a good option you could use, entirely up to you. And I'll put P in, and again it's good to visualise your work if you get stuck as well. So Fn, and I'm going to put F2 in. So there's a great little option for you, so don't forget about using that. I think it's great. Close that. So I'm going to turn prediction off, which takes us back to the save audio options. I'm just going to close that document and don't save and go back. I can go back to the original scan, but let's use this text. All works the same. So if you scanned off a document, be it from your scanner or PDF, why not save it as an audio file and listen to it on the move? Great little option. Upload it into your smartphone, iPod, wherever you want. So you've got to highlight the text you want. So Command A to highlight all, or highlight by right clicking and highlighting, and click save. And then I'm going to save it. I'm going to leave it as that title. I'm actually going to send it to my desktop, and I'm going to click save. So now it's going to take all that text and save it as an audio file. So let's have a little look.
Nursing is a profession within the healthcare sector focused on the care of
You might have a problem with the audio file from Claro sometimes, in the sense that it saves it as a WAV format, and sometimes WAV format doesn't work on a lot of smartphones, or for example the Olympus recorder. It's not a problem. On iTunes, click iTunes, select preferences. In preferences, leave it on general and select import settings, and make sure you're on MP3 encoder. Click that and click OK. That's it. So when you click on the file you want, do a right click and we can create an MP3 version by tapping on it. And there we go. You've got an MP3 version straight away that will work anywhere. So that's a great option as well. Right, let's go back to the document. So that's the save audio. We'll come to the extras. We have your calculator, and it does what it says on the box. It calculates. Times 8 is 64. Excellent. Divided by 2 is 32. Nice and simple. But also in that extras, we have a nice little option called Claro Capture. If you're doing research online, this will be a godsend. So I'm going to open up Claro Capture, and I'm going to click continue, as I'm using the demo version. Now click show to hide it so it doesn't take up your whole screen, and drag it up here to the left. Now let's find something I can save. So let's imagine you're in research mode. How about chemistry? And scroll down to a website you might be doing a bit of research on. How about BBC? And we'll open up a link there. Now you might be doing a bit of research here. We'll just use this as an example. So highlight the text you want. So I'm going to highlight that line there. And select capture button. So capture selected text. And a little indicator comes up in the middle, which indicates I've now captured that text. It's captured the date when I assessed it, and also the source at the bottom where I got it from. And then I can carry on doing a bit more research. I might go, actually, I could do that as well. Click capture, and we're capturing selected text, not highlights from the text in the document. And again, it adds that. And then if you click hide, you might move on to another website.
House.
So let's go back and let's go to Chemistry University of Liverpool. Again, highlight some text, any text you want. Click capture and you kind of get the idea with that, even though I missed out the R. Click show and it's capturing all my information and the source on when I assessed it for when you come to reference. Really useful, powerful option. What we can do with that next is we can actually send it to a Word document, PowerPoint or clipboard as you would do with Command C and Command V to paste. So I'm going to send it to Microsoft Word and then they all are when I assessed them and the source at the bottom. Great for your research. Let's Command A and get rid of that. Let's say you come back at a later date and you do a different research. Now you click the little arrow there, drop down arrow, and it gives you options here. For example, you might do research, you want all your research in different topics, so you want to put them into specific Word documents, not just random like we just did. As I've got a Word document open now, I can insert this item into Microsoft Word because that's what's open, and you might decide actually I want that one as well, and again insert Microsoft Word. You can always copy and paste as well, but that makes life easier. Also down in the drop menu you can delete the item you don't want and it's gone, or you can click the X on the right. Also if you choose, you can choose to select the source and that will take you back to that site where you got it from. And you know what, that can be a pain sometimes when you put them in your bookmarks and lose them. At least you won't lose the original source there. Really great little option. So I'm going to click X and get rid of all them. So why don't you're going through a Word document, you highlight stuff you want. And if I move that over, I'm going to colour code that yellow. Now watch, if I click capture highlighted text in Word, then click show, it's highlight wherever I've highlighted. So if you've highlighted different subjects in different colours, you can then grab them all and then collate all your information. Another great little option there. Obviously source, it's come from document 9, it can't give you the exact source because it's not from web based, but it's still a handy option when you're getting information together. And click X. So that's a lovely little option as well. Definitely have a look at that in your extras. Also run individually of Claro. You see how it installs separately Claro Capture, Claro View and Screen Ruler for my extras. So you can assess them without having to open up ClaroRead, just to let you know. So in extras we also have Claro View. If you use an overlay colour to help you read the text clearer, this is a really handy option. There's a slight tint. Now if I click the two little arrows there, you can then choose the colour. Some people have tests to find out if an overlay colour does help, and if you do, you can use this option to try and find your exact colour that they've given you, and then you can play around with the sliders to find the exact tint you need. There's a transparency button up and down here that you can add transparency to if required. So if I click the little tick and minimise, you now add that tint over anything you open, including Safari or any application. Now it sits down in your dock, so if you open it back up, right click it and you can quit it there. Another good option I would say was Screen Ruler. That helps you focus, depending on how you want to use it. It can help you focus on the text you're reading. Now currently the settings on Ruler there, which is great. So if I open up Safari and you're doing a lot of reading, this will keep you on the line that you're reading on. But I think there's a better option this I kind of like. So because I've opened up Screen Ruler, it opens up in your dock, remember, because you can run it independently of Claro. So I'm going to click on Screen Ruler to bring it up at the top. Here's my options. Mode, I'm going to change to Ruler. Now you see where I'm going with this. This is already looking a bit better for me. So if I click on Ruler, I can choose the size of that ruler. Definitely worth remembering the shortcut keys. So we've got Command equals and minus. So if I come down, Command equals and minus. Choose the thickness of that ruler. So you don't have to keep going to your settings. Definitely worth using that. Ruler as well, colour and opacity. So again, opacity, I can make the actual ruler gap lighter or darker. Let me show you. So if I click back on here, make sure you select your Screen Ruler. So it's Command D will make that ruler, as you can see, lighter or dark. I'm going to make that lighter. And there we go. So if I go to the rest of the screen, it works the same way. We can have shading. For example, you might not want shading above and below that ruler, so we could change the shading just above. Depends on how you want to work that again. Or if you prefer, on shading though, I'm going to go to the opacity again. This time I'm going to make the background darker. So this time I need to use Shift, Command and D. So let's try it out. And you see it going darker. And again, use the L to go lighter. Definitely, if you use this a lot, definitely remember those shortcuts. Say we're going to the top all the time. And there you go. You'll be able to go down and read your text and focus, be it on a line or a whole paragraph. So if I go minus equals, it then widens that for me. Or minus, you might just want one line. Excellent option. To close it, you go top left, click screen ruler and quit, or from your dock. So that's in your extras as well. Last of all, go to settings, go back to speech. So look at your speech options, and if you are typing, you might want characters echo back words or sentences so you can hear what you're typing. Also, you can pause between words, so it pauses after each word. It kind of stutters it, but you can hear each word clearly then, or just stop after each sentence when it's reading back, not just continuous reading. Speak when mouse selects, so when you highlight it will read back, or you can choose speak on mouse hover, so when you hover it reads back for you. If you click on that, you can also choose only in Safari, so it only reads back when you hover over Safari. Let me show you.
Close. Wiki node redirects here.
And there you go. Click settings. But I prefer to untick that and use speak when mouse selects. Pronounce option there, where you can add your own words that don't phonetically sound right. For example, test word,
Shikra.
and that word should sound phonetically.
Shikra.
So you can change it by spelling it, clicking plus, spelling it on the left, the original word, and that if it don't sound right when it's read back, you can phonetically spell it to make it sound correct. Really handy for names as well. Highlight, and I showed you the highlighting options there. Check, these are your homophone words. Also spelling, this is any spelling you've done as well, so you can see how your spelling's been going and what you might be spelling wrong a lot. If you click spelling report, and it even shows you the frequency of those spelling errors you've done here, so you can see which words that you're having trouble with. And you can even click transfer to custom list, so it then transfers them over to this list for you as well. So when it comes to spelling, it'll give you the alternatives from there. Predict, we looked at, and last of all, scan. Now I showed you scan at the beginning. Now if I click my scanner preferences here, it comes up and you can see there's no scanner installed for me because there's no driver for it to work. There might be one updated now, but I haven't had a look. So there's your setting options. Also you can choose which scanning software you want to use. For example, you might have Abby Fine Reader, so then you can select Abby Fine Reader. And then you choose to set up read iris for Claro and click OK. And also scan type, so if I click advanced then it gives me more information on the scan. There's a few basics to get you up and running on ClaroRead on the Mac. Bear in mind now, there's a new Office out. I haven't used it on here yet, so I'm going to use that at a later date and see how it works with that, but I think I might need an update for that to see how that works, but I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.